Today is the first day we are allowed 2 people visiting someone's house. So our cameraman, Blake, and myself have ventured out to the beautiful home of Jess and Joel. And Jess is a beautiful, creative woman. She's just balanced. She's just great at many things. And Joel is just one of those guys that everyone loves. And he's like shaking his head. But he's one of those guys that if you have a son, you just hope that that they would turn out a little bit like Joel. Anyway, so we just want to hear a bit about your story. And so after about 3.5 years of being married, you guys started trying for a family. And after about a year, you found out that you were unable to conceive naturally. So you started on the IVF journey. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, this was a journey that we weren't expecting to ever have to go on. And we can say now on the other side of it that we're really grateful to have been through this because it's brought us so much closer. It's strengthened our faith. But at the start of this journey, that is definitely not what I was thinking. I remember being really stressed before we even made the choice to actually proceed and start IVF. And a really good friend sent me a verse which gave me so much comfort in that time, which was, "For God is not a God of disorder, but of peace." And it came at a time when we had quite a few options and we were struggling to pick the right one for us. And that verse just really kind of centered us and reminded us of what's most important through all of this, not the end result, but that God is with us throughout all of this. The very first day we started was a really nervous day for us. And we knew that there were some possible side effects, especially for me. And the verse of the day that day just happened to be perfect for us, which said, "Dear friend, I pray that you may enjoy good health and that all may go well with you, even as your soul is getting along well." So there were just countless moments like that throughout this time that reminded us that God was with us no matter what was happening.
So I heard echidnas were an important part of your journey. So tell us about this, Joel.
Yeah, so the echidnas. So on the very first day that we found out that we couldn't have kids naturally, it was really tough, and we just decided to go for a bushwalk, and we're sitting on a rock and just praying and chatting and just trying to work through that kind of news. And we heard a rustle in a bush, and we looked around and we saw a echidna. But the thing is, every time, and Jess talked about key moments or key days, every time we got this new bit of information, we went for a bushwalk and we saw this echidna, and it was just this continual reminder of God's in this. No matter if in the end we were going to have kids or not, that God was going to be amongst that. And for us, and we've got 1,000 things that are echidna related. There's a little picture in Hazel's room and things, and so echidnas will forever be a reminder in this process that God is going to be in it no matter what.
So during the IVF process, were there any challenges along the way?
Yeah, definitely. We were successful after our first round of IVF, and we fell pregnant, and we thought, how amazing, what a miracle, we're so blessed. And every night we'd be praising God and praying for this beautiful life that we'd been given. But unfortunately at 7 weeks we found out that we'd had a miscarriage, and that really knocked us. We couldn't understand why we would go through all of this for it to work and then now this to happen. And it was a really heartbreaking time, and the last thing we felt like doing was coming to God. And again, we were just so lucky that we had friends who were encouraging us to keep turning to God in those times. And I'm so glad I did. That day in my devotions, there was a perfect message which said, when nothing goes right and the unexpected happens, that's a perfect time to renew your hope in Jesus and to expect miracles. And even though we did have our challenges throughout that journey, I think what God taught us through all of this was that it wasn't actually about the end result. It was about feeling God's presence, drawing closer to Him, learning more about Him, growing personally in our relationship with each other, but most importantly, our relationship with God.
I love that you've kept a journal. That's awesome, an awesome reminder.
Yeah, I'm glad that I've kept it too, because there's so many things that I forgot about, which at the moment were huge moments. And, life comes along and it's amazing what you do forget. So I'm really grateful that I took the time to write these things down.
So, Joel, how did being a Christian and having a relationship with God help you during this time?
Well, it was definitely, it kind of rocked us. It shook us in terms of asking the questions about why this was going on. But I guess the key thing was through different songs or Bible readings, and Jess has kind of talked about that throughout her answers as well. But kind of one key moment is my boss, he just sent me a video to a worship song, and it's called Take Courage, and it talked about it's in the waiting. And for that, there was so many times through every appointment and even the process of waiting to hear what was happening, those words just kept ringing in our ears. And so whether it was music or certain Bible verses, we just kept holding on to those things to get us through it.
So everyone's IVF journey is different, and sometimes it's successful and sometimes, sadly, it's not. So 18 months down the track, what is the update for you guys?
Well, we were extremely blessed. We had a beautiful baby girl who was born in December last year. Her name is Hazel, and we're loving every minute with her, most minutes.
Well, thank you guys for just being so open and just sharing a part of your story with us today. It is a beautiful story, and happy first Mother's Day, Jess, this Sunday. And this weekend, it is Mother's Day, and we just want to celebrate all women and pray that this weekend is a weekend where every woman feels loved and valued.